Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Tommy Gunn, and you're on with Tommy Gunn 5150. So this is video number 2. If you haven't seen the first one, go check it out. That was what happened to me when I joined Planet Fitness. This one is a little bit different, a lot different actually. This one is, well, we just got back from Christmas Mass church, and I thought, what a better video to make to let you guys know how and when I found God and why. And wondering if you're on the fence with it, and if you are, maybe I can help you out a little bit. So, a little backstory. I'm always going to do backstories, just kind of keep you up and get you up to speed, and it tells you where I'm at. So, uh, so it's been about 7 years, and we were in California living, and I was riding for a motorcycle club. I was sergeant at arms at the time, and started not feeling too good. Started feeling real bad. Uh, just not feeling good. Tired, like I am right now, and a lot of body pain. A lot of stuff that you couldn't really explain. So we go to the emergency room, and they do blood tests and all that, like they do, and comes back and they say everything's good. I'm like, good, because that's what you want to hear when you go to the hospital. You don't want to hear nothing bad. So even though you feel like crap, you know something's wrong. But when they tell you no, that's what you want to hear. So that's what you go with. And that's what I went with. So we leave. Some time goes by, a couple weeks, whatever, and I'm still feeling real bad, real bad. And it's just getting worse and worse. And we go back to the emergency room, same thing, blood tests, all the stuff they do. Come back, nothing wrong with you. You good? Blood's all good. You're good. Well, how do you explain how I feel? Well, maybe you need a psychiatrist. Maybe it's in your head, in my head. Yeah, you know when something's wrong with you. You know when you feel different than you normally do. And I knew something was wrong, but they kept telling me I was good. So what was I going to do? So again, some time goes by. I'm feeling the same way. I'm trying to live everyday life, trying to do the motorcycle club thing, try to do what I'm supposed to do, and I'm just not doing good, just not. So we go back again, emergency room in Cali, and again, same thing. Nothing wrong. Blood's good. Everything's good. Um, okay, I guess you know what you're talking about. They don't, but whatever. Anyway, so my wife worked for a certain company, and they're getting ready to move the company from California to Colorado, and they offered X amount of people, the decision whether they wanted to, go with the company to Colorado or you know part with the company and stay in California. Well, our the medical insurance I had was through my wife's work. That's who covered us. So I was telling my wife, I'm like, I know something's wrong. We don't go. We don't have this insurance. Uh, you know, something goes wrong. We're going to be on the hook for that. It's going to take us out. So a lot of stuff was going on with the motorcycle thing, and so I decided I was going to retire from that club and walk. Um, it wasn't. It wasn't the club that I wanted to be in anymore. Wasn't doing what I wanted to do. just wasn't for me anymore. Anyway, so we decided that we're gonna uproot and buy a house in Colorado. So that's what we did. Moved to Colorado. First of all, I was lied to. They told me that it was sunny 300 days a year in Colorado. And, I ride Harley, so I like to ride. I like to be out. I don't like to be stuck in the house. So I was like, whoa, really? 300 days? Jeez, I can do that. You know, uh, what's wrong with that? So what they didn't tell me was, it could be sunny. Yeah, sunny. But it could be 5 degrees. So, I don't know about you, but, I'm not interested in riding in 3 degrees weather. Um, Not voluntarily anyway. I mean, I'm stuck in it. I get caught in it. That's one thing, but to leave in it for just for the sake of doing it, I'll pass. So anyway, so we get there, and I get acquainted real quick with Colorado. I immediately hate it, and I didn't like it from the get, man. So the air is real thin there, and it was hard to breathe. Because unbeknownst to me, and I'll get to that in a minute, but there was actually something really going on with me. And that thin air reared its ugly head much faster than it would have in California. So, the air's thin, so I'm having a real hard time. I start going to the gym out there, and I can't breathe. I can't do nothing. I'm like, what's going on? I'm getting weaker and weaker by the day. I can't even lift nothing. I mean, it was ridiculous. So it's like, but something's going on. There's no way it can be right. So we end up going to the emergency room out there, and same thing, blood test, whole 9 yards, nothing. You're good. You're good. Okay, that's what I want to hear. But you know, anyway, so we go back home. I'm telling my wife they're wrong. They don't know what they're talking about. They're wrong. I know what I feel. I know how I feel, and there's something wrong. They're just not finding it. So week goes by, and I'm doing real bad now. I can't even walk 2 steps without going down to my knee, breathing just real hard. So we go back to the hospital. They do blood tests. They come back good. They tell me I can go home. I'm like, all right, man. So we start walking to the car, and I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't make it. I tell my wife, it's like, they're wrong. We need to go back in. There's something going on. They need to do more tests, different tests. I don't know what they're not doing, but they need to do something. We can't do this. So they wheelchaired me back in there, brought me back into the ER. I'm laying on the bed. My feet are showing. And my wife notices that my right foot's really swollen. My right ankle, my right foot is real swollen. So she points it out to the nurse. It's like, hey, look, his ankle and his foot is real swollen. And so like, oh yeah, so it is, yeah. So anyway, they bring me in for a CT scan, MRIs, all that stuff. It turns out I had a blood clot in the back of my legs, and it must have been there for quite some time. And it broke off. It lodged into my heart and lungs, and I had a pulmonary embolism. Yeah, most painful thing I ever experienced in my life, man. It was just like, wow. So it's like so much pain you couldn't even touch me. I would scream bloody murder. So we go to the primary. I'm sorry. Yeah. So they admit me. Okay, I'm there like 9 days. They had me drugged up on everything known to man. I mean, Dilaudid, which I love. If I'm going to be in the hospital, I got to be on pain meds. Dilaudid is what I want. Morphine, oxy, you name it, I was on. I was up in the sky. So that's the only way you can keep me in the hospital is you keep me loaded. Otherwise, I'm going to be a real pain in the butt. So anyway, so at the end of the 9 days, the head doctor comes in. She's got a clipboard in her hand. I'm really high, like I said. And what appeared to me when she came in was she had a white coat on and she looked like a big witch. She had a witch hat on and this clipboard. And then she had these four male doctor nurses behind her clipboards. They all looked like, witches too. They weren't there. This is just what I saw. And without even any warning, she tells me I have this disease. I'm not going to get into what it is right now. That's a different story. Motorcycle club thing, that's a different story. But anyway, so they tell me I have what I have. And I'm like, I turn ghost white. I look over at my wife, she's ghost white. And I'm like, what the hell, man? What? So, yeah, pretty bad. So I freak out. I tell them I want out. I want out of this hospital right now. I'm not staying in here anymore. I'm done. Get me out of here. They're like, oh, no, you can't go anywhere. I'm like, get me out. Either I'm walking on my own or you're going to cut me loose. So they ended up cutting me loose and sent me home with a big ass oxygen machine with a tube that went everywhere in my house. So I was on that for about 3.5 months. So they told me my situation wasn't very good. So, I'm thinking it's over. Time is coming and you know, it is what it is, right? Kind of. Yeah. Did I cry? Yeah, I cried like a baby for I don't even know how many days. I just couldn't believe what was going on. I had lived pretty healthily. Been in the gym my whole life. Um, you know, I had my bouts with, alcohol and some drugs, things like that. But, that was stopped pretty early on. And then I went through a drinking binge for in my early 40s for about 5 or so years. And then I just stopped. That was it. It's been 14 years since I've had anything except clean living. I recommend that. Anyway, so, we're in Colorado. I hate it. And, I'm telling my wife, please, let's get out of here. I don't want to die here. This is the last place I want to die. I hate it. You know, it's cold, it's snowy. I don't like snow. And, I just don't like the house. It's too small. I just want out here. Let's get me out of here. I don't want to die here. Let's just get me out somehow. So we were there for 4 years. And, fighting this thing tooth and nail. I automatically changed my life as far as what I put into it, how I lived. I was always in the gyms, trying to stay healthy that way. But, my food intake changed a lot. Everything changed. So you start getting on all these different supplements, this, that, and the other. And, I started getting well or better than I was. So COVID hit. I couldn't go to no gyms. I couldn't get my gym on. That's my main thing in life. I got to get that going. That's my savior. That's everything to me. Besides God, and on this earth anyway. That's what I do to keep me sane, keep me keep me mellow, keep me out of people's faces. So Anyway, so uh, it started to get really bad. I was contemplating my death, figuring out how we were gonna make it all work and what was gonna happen to my wife and all that. So I said, hey, let's sell this house and let's move to where your parents are. So if anything happens to me, you're not by yourself figuring it all out. You got your parents, you got your family, and they can all be there for you and, help you and get you through this all and just be a better situation for you. And besides, I hate Colorado anyway. So it's like, it's a no brainer to get me out of there. So that's what we did. And sold the house, and man, we made a killing on it. I mean, wow, what a perfect, it was the best timing ever. It was God's plan for me. I didn't know it at the time, but it was. I wasn't religious at all. I never spoke God's name really. Didn't really think about it too much. Thought I was invincible. And, when you find out you're not, then things change. So, when you're contemplating your death, the Bible tells you that, when you're at your lowest, you'll seek me. And boy, that couldn't be more truthful if anything I ever read in my life. Because, like I said, I never thought about it. And wasn't anything that was in my forefront of my mind. But then when I got sick and I was contemplating death, that was the first thing that came into my mind. It was like, I better get right, with God, because if I don't, you know, you think hell, earth is hell. You think earth is hard? I can't even imagine what it would be like for eternity in a lake of fire, burning up, screaming for eternity. And you think life is so short. It's so short. It's a minuscule, small amount of time. You young people out there, you think you got all the time in the world? You don't. You don't. When I was 20, I couldn't even imagine being 40, let alone 60. So time goes, man. It goes by fast. Things happen, and you never know what's going to come up next, man. So, when you think you got it worked out, you're not right with God. You don't got nothing worked out. Nothing. I'm telling you that straight up. Straight up. So anyway, I told my wife, let's find a church here. And I saw the Nextdoor app, so I put a message out. Anybody know any churches that have some motorcycle relation to it? Something I could relate to, get me there and whatnot. So yeah, somebody told me about this church Crossroads and had a motorcycle ministry, and I was like, all right. So we went there, and it was cool, man. I felt it, man. And walking in that room and walking into that church and feeling the Holy Spirit and all that, chills down my spine and tears coming down my face, and you know, it was just like it's just crazy. It was an overwhelming feeling that I couldn't stop it if I wanted to. It was just coming out all by itself, and I had no control over it. So while we were there, after the church service, we had a bunch of people come up and greet us and say hi and this that, and I guess the people from the biker ministry noticed me, and they immediately picked up on me and came over and introduced themselves, told me about the biker ministry, and it's they have their meetings in the mornings before church, and then they ride to church or drive depending, and then you go to church, and then sometimes we go out to lunch, or it's a relatively good day, we'll go ride or whatever. It's pretty cool. So I was like, yeah, all right. So they invited me to the motorcycle ministry. We went. It's at 9 o'clock in the morning. I can't get up anymore. I used to be an early morning person, but I'm not anymore. I can't do it anymore. I just can't get up. I don't sleep real good, so I try and stay in bed as long as possible. That way, when I get up, I can feel as best as I can during the day, which is generally not very well. But that doesn't stop me from going to the gym every single day, 5 days a week, 2 on, 2 off, 2 on, 2 off, or 2 on, 1 off, 2 off, 2 on, 1 off. So, uh, anyway, started going, and they they bought me and my wife a Bible, and they bought us some devotional books and this and that. And we started reading it. Started reading the devotionals. Started reading them. Actually, I'm going to back up a second. When I first started thinking about, I found Mel Chancey. If you know who Mel Chancey is, cool. If you don't, he's an ex Hell's Angel president. He was Hell's Angel president when he was really young. He went through a lot of stuff. Um, I found him, and that's what I needed, because I needed someone that was kind of like me, telling me how to do it, why and this, that, and somebody I could relate to that was kind of on my level in life. Um, where I was at is to how he did it and why, and that was really interesting. So I started listening to him every morning. I still do. And thanks, Mel. Thank you very much. I've written you a couple times and you've responded back. I appreciate you. And you don't know this, but you're the reason. You're the reason why I sought out God. You're the reason why I went into the church for the first time. And you're the reason why I'm still there. Because had I not went there, I would never find what I found, people that I found, and the grace that I found there. But anyway, so through going for the last year and a half, almost 2 years now, I'm not going to say that I'm completely changed. I'm not. I got still a lot of bad habits that I still got to work on. I'm a cursor. I cuss a lot. I came from a family of cursors my whole life as a kid, listening to it, been in the motorcycle business, fighting business. It just came with it. You know what I mean? It just was something you just blurt out, and it's not anything you really pay attention to. It just comes out natural. Now, I hear myself do it all the time, and I try and catch myself. It's real hard since it's like embedded in my brain. But when I listen to myself, I don't like it anymore. I don't like the way it sounds coming out of my mouth, and I don't like, I just don't like it. I don't like sounding like that anymore. I got to grow up and figure this out. Because how can you profess God and next minute say the F word? It happens. We're all sinners. We're never going to stop sinning. Nobody's perfect, and God doesn't expect us to be perfect. But anything you can try and do to stop doing that's not good, you should. You should. That includes drinking too much drugs, smoking, whatever. I've been there, so it's all good. So where am I now? Well, like I said, we just got back from church, so I'm still going to church. Now, am I perfect? No. I got a lot of work to do. Yeah, I do. I got a lot, but I'm there, and I'm moving forward, and I believe, and I have faith. That's the difference now. I didn't have that before. I just questioned everything, and I still question stuff. That's okay. It's natural to question anything that you're not too sure about. And if you ask the right people, they can probably answer you pretty good. Because I got some people around me like that I ask a ton of questions to, and they always have the right answers, and it's right on, spot on. So it's like, but you too will see if you read the Bible, go to church, actually listen, you'll find out that it's all true, man. Nothing could be possible in this world if God wasn't in it. Nothing. And that's all I'm going to say about it. You know, you're always going to believe what you're going to believe. You may not even hear the words coming out of my mouth because it has the word God in it. But let me tell you what I see versus me, versus the people that, are down with the word fully and they live that life fully. You know, they don't, they sin. I mean, and nobody's perfect, but, there's the closest things I know that I've ever met. And, they still have problems. Everybody's going to still have problems. That doesn't, just because you find God and you get healed. By the way, I got baptized too about 3 months after we found the church. They had big baptisms. I did it in front of a few hundred people. I was scared to death. I didn't know what to think. I didn't know how I was going to feel. And man, it was the most uplifting thing I think I've ever done. It was truly amazing. And I thought I was going to walk away, this holy man, that I wasn't going to sin no longer. But that's not true. It didn't happen that way. It's still not happening that way. What it means is just that you're willing to accept God in your life. It doesn't exactly save you because faith is what saves you. It's the only thing you need to do. You don't need to go to church. You don't need to. You don't need to, I don't know, you don't have to be that person you think you don't want to be. But what you do have to do is you have to have faith and you have to have belief in Jesus Christ. That he did come down, that he did get sacrificed for you, for our sins. So we didn't have to do that. Yeah. If you ever watch Passion of the Christ and you see that movie, that doesn't like do something to you inside. Like, wow, I mean, look what that man went through for us. It's just like, why would anybody do that? Well, because he's God. That's why. And that's what he was sent down to do. Anyway, that's my story about how I found God. Have you found him? Or are you looking? Or do you want to find him? Let me know. Comment below. Like and subscribe if you can do that for me. If you resonate with anything I say at all, like and subscribe. It help me out. Grow this channel. I'm still looking for an editor. Help me out here. I want to start doing some editing on this channel. Sorry for the nasally sounding voice. Had a cold in the last couple of days. You heard it on the first video. If you listen to that, you know we're getting better. It's all good. So, anyways, my hope for you is that you do what I did and you find them too, because this world is bad, man. And if you don't see that, you do need church worse than you know. Believe me. Go listen to the truth. That's what you need to hear. Don't listen to the news. Don't listen to your friends. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. I promise you. You think you know everything in your 20s, 30s? You don't. You don't know nothing. You think you do. I thought I did too, but turns out the older you get, the more you figure out. The more you figure out, you didn't know shit. Anyways, yeah, that's right. I said that word, and yeah, I just came from church. So see, I still make mistakes. I'm gonna, you're gonna, and it's okay. But just repent for them. Tell them you're sorry. Move forward. Try not to do it again. That's all you need to do is just try. All right. So I hope this resonates with you. I hope maybe you think about it after listening to this. And until then, I'll see you. And I can't wait for the next one because you never know what I'm going to say next. Peace.